is full of different faiths and philosophies known as religions. Most of these religions are either based on worship of one deity or multiple. The Japanese Ryukyuan religion, or the Utica religion, is centered on the focus of multiple deities and honoring the ancestors. I will be talking about three main topics in this culture. I will be speaking about the honoring of the ancestors, the worship of gods in the home, and the community worship. One of my dear friends actually spent the first 13 years of her life in Japan. She lived there and she speaks the language fluently. She came and stayed with me for a summer, and just the other day I had the opportunity to interview her. She told me that one of the most important things in the Japanese culture is honoring ancestors. Let's dive into the topic of ancestor worship. If you've ever seen Disney's Mulan, then you know a little bit about ancestor worship. Ancestor worship is the belief that the deceased family members are actually able to continue their lives, and they also affect the lives of those still living. In my research about this religion on worldatlas.com, I found that there are actually 3 tiers of ancestors worship. There's the ultimate ancestors, the middle ancestors, and the immediate ancestors. The ultimate ancestors are the oldest and the most respected of the ancestors, and it is believed that they actually lived among the gods. The middle ancestors lived more than 25 generations prior to their death, but they did not live with the gods. They lived during the Nakagayoi, or the Middle Ages. The immediate ancestors lived less than 25 generations, and they lived in the present age, or the Amagayu. And it is believed that the immediate ancestors actually come into the home and into the family tomb and are living there during special events. The family tomb is a house-like structure with a porch and courtyards by the family's home. That is where the cremated remains of the family are placed, and where extended family comes to worship. It is believed that after a person's 32nd year of death, that they actually join and become a part of the ancestors. Ryukyuan ancestors are believed to bring fortune into the lives of the living. Some gods of the home do the same. There are 3 sort of altars where the people come to worship their gods to get fortune in the home. It is the Buchidan, the Ryukyuan, and the Furanyukami. The Buchidan is a small closet in the house, and it is where the family will gather to worship and to bring offerings to their gods. The oldest woman in the family is actually in charge of taking care of this, decorating it, worship, and is in charge of the prayers for it. The Ryukyuan is a small altar in the kitchen, usually 3 stones, or in this case, it has a tray and there is an incense offering and some plants. The oldest female is the one that prays to it and brings incense offerings, and it is believed that when she prays and she tells them about the family's recent events, such as if somebody has had a child or their recent death, that the hearth god will actually bring back and give them fortune. The Furanyukami is the family guardian of waste, also known as the toilet god. It is believed that without the Furanyukami in the bathroom, that the area is susceptible to evil spirits because they are attracted to the waste. The oldest woman in the home is in charge of cleaning and taking care of his dwelling place. Now that we've gone over ancestors worship and worship of the home gods, let's talk about the community worship. Community worship moves away from the ancestors and onto the animistic gods, So the worship of the gods of the mountains and the rivers and the trees. They pray and offer food and incense offerings to them for good favor while they fish and in their hunting, in their growing and harvesting. It's believed that their daily practices will be improved. Rituals are led with sacred songs known as kamayuto, and is either based on myths or legends of the gods themselves or of their own daily practices. The Utica is a ceremonial place in the mountains near the village. In the book Okinawan Religion, found in the Gale eBooks database, gave me lots of insight into the importance of the Utica. It is the place where the gods come and they actually communicate with each other, and the men were actually forbidden to go in this area. It was only for the gods to come and worship and for the priestess to communicate with the gods. Female influence. As you've probably noticed throughout my speech, I've talked about that the females are the ones giving the prayers and offerings and are the ones communicating with the ancestors and the gods. It is believed that the women are more spiritual than the men, and that the men are actually spiritually vulnerable. A priestess is the one in charge of all of the rituals for the community, for the festivals, and actually communicates with the gods and brings the information and relays it back to the community. The Ryukyuan religion has many aspects that make it unique and different. We've looked at honoring the ancestors, gods worshipped in the home, and community worship. Learning about the Ryukyuan religious beliefs may help instill a deeper knowledge into their culture. I hope you now have a better knowledge about the Ryukyuan culture and its religious beliefs. Thank you.